Hello and welcome back to the Realistic Formula Championships round 14 of season 6. It's the final round, 13 Grand Prix down, one more to go. The Yas Marina circuit awaits. And well, just 1 point separating Rio Harris and Alex Mills in the championship going into today's round. That was last season's results. Malachi winning that race. Daniel Llorente was only about 2 points behind him going into that race, but couldn't race. Therefore, Malachi won the championship. But what will happen here today? Compounds, C5, C4, and C3. I feel like I'm saying the same thing every single week because it's always the same compounds. And, well, time to get into Q1 that's just begun about a minute and a bit ago. And, well, let's see if everything's actually going to work or the stuff is not going to work. Right, it's the finale, and Q1 beckons. Right, I think I've got all the names ready. I mean, we'll see when we load in a second, or when I change the scene. And we hope that nothing breaks, but, well, it's probably not going to be the case. I'd imagine stuff is going to be breaking, but we'll get it under control by the end of quali. So many things open. Right, there we are. Right, we got the chat. And if I just change the scene, we will be in. And we can see most of the names are actually working. Apart from a few players, and also Mr. Yong Himi Dimmers there, who I'm not entirely sure. I swear I did input his name, but give me a second. Let's click into it. It's probably a capitalization thing. What it normally is. Yep, he's got capital Z and it doesn't there. And then Fusion as well. It's the Sauber. Is it Edward? Edward, and also the Mercedes of Magnujal there. Right, start recording. Stream underway, and quali is go. Rio Harris about to set his first lap, or start his first lap really. Players, we have got Magnujal, and Magnujal has somehow locked his way into Mercedes. Don't ask me how. Harris up on dimmers there. I think the game audio is coming through fine. And Harris down towards turn 6 and then into turn number 7. Yeah, we've got a yellow flag. That is that Mercedes player, I think. At turn number 6, Harris goes purple. 2 tenths up on the Haas. And now in to this hotel section for the championship leader. He's led the championship for a very long time, but could Alex Mills be about to break that at the very last? Have to see the end of the race, but Harris goes quickest by over 4/10 of a second. What about, we've got this Sauber here. Also only got 19 cars, I think. There is still a Williams missing, so if anyone wants to replace that. D-I-M-E-Z is pronounced as Dime Z. So how am I supposed to say that? Dimes? Himmy Dimes. David Svat is joining mid-quali. Right. Mills on his outlap here. Getting quite close to Rio Harris as they're side by side. Might be an opportune moment to just have a look at that championship standing and how close it is. We have got Lol, who has set a personal best in the first sector, on his way towards turn number 9. And we'll see how it compares to Harris. He's half a second down on the championship leader. The driver in 12th place in the standings, back driving the Mercedes after being sacked earlier on. He did get a podium in Hungary, if you remember. I think that was kind of shown in that little highlights reel we had before the intro and the sessions began. And, well, he has certainly got speed. Finished 3rd in the championship last season. And, well, crosses the line now and goes into 8th place. Behind the 2 Aston Martins. Himmy Dimes up into 3rd in the Haas Morel, and also Fusion in 2nd in the V-Carb, or Racing Bulls. Alex Mills potentially getting a bit of a slipstream there from his teammate Bryn Evans, who's just on the outlap. And Alex Mills on his way. And his first sector is a 17.2. And how does his middle sector? We see it's another purple. He's half a second up on Harris. And that camera is not right, but I don't know if I can actually fix that. We just won't go on board with McLaren, because the other day when I was driving, I was in a McLaren and the camera setting changed. So that's a bit unfortunate. Maybe I'll leave at the end of Trixie, if you're hearing this, I'll leave at the end of Q1 and I'll get re-invited back for Q2, because I don't want to not go on board with, you know, one of the leading contenders, well, one of the 2, the whole time. Pablos, 10th up on Ryan there. The time he needs to beat to get out of the bottom 5. 8 minutes to go. And there is a car just kind of off track there. That's Ruben Park potentially in the Racing Bulls. Indeed it is, because Fusion is in the pits. And Pablos across the line stays in the bottom 5. What about Parker across the line? I think he might just be winding up for a lap as Tarantino goes into the pits. But, well, it's been a commanding start for the driver chasing the title, chasing the championship leader. Edwards, I think he's actually bailing in. Rolls for the personal best. What about Evans? Evans should be finishing a lap now. He should comfortably get himself out of that bottom 5. And Evans There we go. Second place. McLaren 1-2 as it stands. And pretty dominant. And I think LOL is still pushing on here on slightly used tyres, trying to see if he can get himself further up the order. Seems to be quite a spread out grid so far. I mean, obviously the McLarens are quite far ahead, but then even, 16th up to 9th, 7/10ths. That is Sauber. Of course, LOL goes into 9th. And what about the Mercedes here? Well, LOL, he's just finished, of course. What about Ryan? Is he pushing on? Not a personal best in the first sector, but I think he is pushing on. And is on the run towards turn number 9. Seeing if he can extract a little bit more time out of the Sauber. New tyres. And there we go. 3/10 up on Coyd. But then he slightly backed off of it there a bit, but I think that might have just tricked me. But no, he is backing off. Yeah, he's gaining back the ERS, so he's not happy with that corner. We keep going. Bryn Evans, that is his session done. Mills is also retired in the pits already. Curry on his way, looking to see if he can get himself a little bit safer. Currently about 7/10ths clear of the elimination zone. He's 4/10ths down on Mills in the first sector. And again on the power as soon as he can out of that turn number 5. Of course, quite a fabled corner now, etched in Formula 1 history after the events of 2021. Well, anything that happened there today, I wonder? Someone has kindly removed all the brake marker boards on the side of the track there, I can see. So yeah, people will have their references, or they'll just have the racing line. Curry, that seemed a bit of an early kind of turn in there. Was flapped back on the throttle pedal. Now 13 and 14. It's sliding for the Aston Martin. He's finding time though. Could this be the lap that he needs to get himself in to Q2? A little bit wide there at the last corner, but he still goes into 5th place. That shows that 4th to 10th is pretty close. It's up for grabs, really. The second row, 3rd row at least, is up for grabs of anyone, it seems. But I mean, the Red Bulls still are setting their first laps. I think Ryan there just gone through the first sector, 17.5 for him. Tarantino's done a 17.3 and then a 35.1 for the Williams. So 2 personal bests. And how will this stack up? And will he get ahead of Rio Harris potentially? Harris is retired in the pits as well now. But I think he should be safe anyway. I mean, of course, that's why he's retired, because he thinks he's safe, and he should be. And Tarantino across the line, and he goes just behind Rio Harris. So not a bad effort at all. Improved by a few tenths. And now I'm just sitting that 17 thousandths behind. And Ryan there just crosses the line and goes into 5th place. And Zwart is just starting a push lap. And he needs a lap here to get himself safe. And these are not new tyres, I don't think, for Zwart. You can see there. And then, the tyre wear, that is not the tyre wear you would expect for just having done an out lap. So he's definitely, just trying to get through on used tyres. But anyway, down towards the braking zone of turn 6. And looking to cleanly get his way through. And on the run through 8, which is not really a corner at the end of the day. Svat has joined. Is it going to be too late to get a lap in Q1 though? Svat is improving. Now exits 9 through 10, 11, brake for 12. Slow speed section, which was slightly opened up in 2021. It's just a quicker sector now than it was previously. And then this last long corner, keep it within track limits, cross the line, behind Tarantino, in 5th place was Vart. What about Magnujal? He's invalid. Is he going to go for another lap? Potentially. Fozzie here to cross the line. And he replaces Vart in 5th place as Ghosts just crossed the line and goes into 8th. Ryan here's just starting a lap. Someone else also just finished a lap. I think it was Pablos potentially. Pablos still in the bottom 5. Is that his qualifying over and done with? Dimes there just waiting to start his lap. And Coyd, I think, is the first one who's going to potentially take the checkered flag or at least finish his last lap in the session. I don't think he will take the checkered flag actually, but he will. This will be his last go. Coyd across the line, and he does get himself out of the bottom 5. But for how much longer will that stay? Edward is finding time. 2 personal bests. And well, he needs it. He's the driver at risk now. In 15th place. Under a 10th between him and Dropux behind. How is Dropux getting on? No personal best for him in the first sector, slightly slower than Edward. As the Sauber rounds the final corner, cuts the beam, goes into 8th, gets himself safe as Magnujal goes into 6th position. What about Ruben Parker? Can Parker lift himself out of the bottom 5? 2 personal bests. Does lift himself out, goes into 14th place. What about Ryan R? Ryan is not through as Vart is just getting out the way, I think, of some cars going through. Pablos going into the pits. What about Lol? He needs a lap to make sure he's safe as the Ferrari of Vart is off. Lol up into 7th place. What about Dropux there, who just crossed the line, goes into 10th. Himmy Dimes on his way. No personal best for him in any sector. He's in 15th. And now, is anyone still going? Coyd, I don't think, is setting sector times. And, well, the Williams of Zvat is in the pits. So that is it for Q1. It is Parker, Coyd, Pablos, Reinar, and Zvat, who joined late, eliminated. There we go. Alex Mills topping the session, as you would expect for the championship leader. Championship chaser. Rio Harris, the championship leader, comfortably through in 3rd. And well, yeah, those were the laps. All the laps done on soft compound. Nice and easy for me later. Check the weather. It says rain Q3. Could be interesting. I'm going to quickly leave the session now. I might just quickly... Oh, I can't even quit yet. The weather will update when the session actually starts, but then I will quickly... There's no weather on the way. All right. We will be back in just a moment. I'm very sorry. And I'm still The stream update is from Brazil. That's brilliant. Brilliant. We all want to see that stream update. That hang on, this might just I can probably fix that at the same time I do this. It's because I've updated some OBS stuff and now now I just need to right, if I do that, now the stream update should just be the thing I can see right now, which is just randomly in just the settings. There we go. It's updated. Just give me a second. Right, McLaren enabled. Right, I can join back now, and I've been luckily supplied with quite a few invites by quite a few people. I have 4 invites. I will accept Trixie's one because he was the one who invited me first. And we're back underway. No, you don't get moderator permissions because you just mess about with one particular thing, which, I mean, you might not even know exists, to be fair, that one particular thing. Hi, Jake. How's the season ban been? A particular command which might make the thing say that the session's been red flagged. It doesn't work for you. Look, Trixie, do you want to give a demonstration? A test? No. But no, just because you're an admin doesn't mean you get permission to FIA specific things. What if you just decide to red flag things when, I don't know, Mercedes seem to be leading it? Oh, wait, hang on. I'm just going to deploy a red flag here. Right, anyway, time to actually get back to the session kind of stuff. Lol, that's not a competitive lap. Red Bull have arrived, it seems. First and second. Alex Mills on very used tyres, though, for that run. And what's Danny up to? Currently on a lap. Down towards turn number 6, he has the Mercedes of magnificent up ahead. And also might be a bit of team play here from Ferrari. As Danny now up towards, not quite sure where the lap timing gone, but lap timing has gone, but we will accept it for the time being. Don't know if that's because I've left I mean, we can live with it, but it's not ideal. When you cross the line, it works, but I can't actually work out why it isn't working, but I'm just gonna. I'm not quite sure what just happened there as well in the background. Something seemed to be strange, but if this doesn't work, I'll just go without. But it's because of that. There we are. There we go. We have things working, kind of, but it doesn't necessarily say the right information. There. Refresh. Refresh. There we go. I think we're good now. Fixing things on the fly. Some of the stuff was still set to Q1 stuff. That was the problem. Drop hooks here across the line, and is a few tenths off Edward there. Fusion just is not currently pushing. Edward on his outlap. Mills going purple. As Dimes there on an outlap. And now we do see Mills, who's once again lighting the timing screens purple. And, well, looks to be another dominant lap from the McLaren. Well, remember, he only needs to outscore Rio Harris by 1 point. But that means Rio Harris cannot afford to be outscored at all by the McLaren. And that is a mean feat to achieve with the performance that we've seen from McLaren since the middle point of the season. And Evans being part of that as well. Of course, playing more of a team role, you can maybe say. You know, he has been picking up the podiums in, obviously, Brazil, Sao Paulo last time out, and also in Singapore. And then in the US, he didn't finish on the podium. He had quite a few penalties for track limits in that race, I believe. But, well, obviously had that standout performance in Hungary, where he managed to pick up the victory. And, well, the moment there, that was not hit for Bryn Evans, but he will go again with new tyres and Fusion on his way. In turn number 16, as Ryan, the Red Bull, has retired from the session in the pit lane, and Fusion in another Red Bull family team, this time Racing Bulls. And up into fourth, Fusion's had good pace so far today. Fozzie's also retired from the session. And how is Harris getting on? Because I think he is on his way. And there we go, green in the first sector for Rio Harris. And these are new tyres for Rio Harris, so this will show the pace, and it is purple in the middle sector. And I think Fozzie and Alex Mills both had new tyres for their laps from the data which I can see. So this is going to be an interesting comparison. See where Rio Harris's pace is. And into the last corner, try to hook it in. And lost time in the final sector, really. He was neck and neck. with Fozzie really through the first two, but in that last sector, just maybe difference in downforce levels, potentially. I mean, I can see Alex Mills has higher top speed from the old, you know, speed, max speed figures, I think it is, from the laps. But Evans needs a lap here, doesn't have one yet. And we've got 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go in this qualifying session. So Evans looking to play the team role for McLaren in this event, you'd think. Looking to see if he can support Alex Mills' championship bid. And well, to do that, he's going to need to get himself through into the top 10 shootouts and be there near the front to try to help influence things in McLaren's way. And well, Danny also needs to be up there for rear as well, and he's going out on an out lap. He's not, doesn't think his current lap is safe. And Evans, with the correct camera settings, through the first couple of corners of Abu Dhabi. Well, he's actually gonna, Svart quickly ducks across, make sure he gets completely out of the way. He does not want, Ferrari were thinking that they do not want Evans getting any kind of advantage there down the straight, but the McLaren still got the speed anyway to make it through. Toes, the toe can be effective, of course, but then you're kind of sacrificing one driver in terms of their run plan time. That will make more of a difference in Q3. And Evans is 9/10 up on Senior Ghosts, which is the current benchmark to get in to Q3. And now we'll see him into this final sector. Doesn't quite hit the curb in turn 12, and then try to keep it within track limits the best you can. Tyres might be screaming at this point. Flat out through turn 15, pick your braking point for 16. Try to use as much of the track on the exit as you can, and Evans goes into second place, just 19 milliseconds behind Fozzie, as Tarantino has crossed the line to go into 8th. Danny Svart will start his lap. What about Ghosts? Crosses the line, goes into 9th. Now is going to be Magnujal in the Mercedes, only goes into 10th. That could be at risk as Lol is going to cross the line, and Lol, I think, has knocked Magnujal out of qualifying there. And I think the next laps are quite far away from actually crossing the line. It's going to be Danny next up. But has Danny backed off? No, he's just slightly down in the first sector, but not... he's not like seconds down. He's 79 milliseconds down on his previous best in the first sector. These are used tyres, I think, for the Ferrari. So, looking to get it done on those used tyres. I think he might just be safe regardless. And well, he's not finding time on his current lap. So, if he does need to find any lap time, then, could be in trouble. And, well, we've definitely got Dimes. Dimes is on another push lap, as is Edwards. So they're two drivers, Dropbox as well. So 3 drivers there. So I think Danny just about safe. It depends whether, I don't think 8th, 9th or 10th are completing laps at the moment. So it's going to come down to what Edwards can do and what Dropbox can do. And Dimes as well. Dimes just into the last sector now. And Dropbox will be following up on that soon. Edward crosses the line. It's only in 13th place, so not good enough. What about Dimes? Can he knock Senior Ghosts out of qualifying here? Dropbox is going a little bit quicker behind, maybe. They're slightly competing on the sectors front, quite close. Dimes just about gets through against Senior Ghosts. Ghosts is eliminated. What can Dropbox do? Can Dropbox knock the Haas, who just thought he might have got through, out of qualifying for real now? Dropbox across the line, and he misses out by 47 milliseconds. So Dimes has made it through. Ghosts, Dropbox, Magnajal, Edward Isham, and Kure eliminated there in Q2. Well, this is it for Q3, and Alex Mills is the first one to set a lap time. But did he just knock a bollard out the way there, maybe? Not entirely sure. But Mills, of course, purple. He is one of a couple that are on new tyres. And yeah, he is looking to be in the best possible position to outscore Rio Harris by 1 point. And Mills, two purple sectors, how are they comparing to people like Evans who are on used tyres? I mean, they're pretty much neck and neck. Mills is a tenth quicker in the first sector and then 6 milliseconds quicker in the middle sector, so Evans keeping in play. But now, how will the tyres run in the last sector as Fusion goes top for the time being? But then Mills will surely replace him if he can just keep this lap valid. Crosses the line, is 2 seconds faster than Fusion, and Evans goes into second place. Danny Zvart up to the line for Ferrari and goes into third for the moment, and then Rio Harris is going to start his first lap in Q3. And Ferrari will surely be doing a slipstream tactic, with Danny just up the road. How will this work out for them? Here we go. On the run down towards turn 6. Dimes goes into 4th. Tarantino also on a lap at the moment. But here we go, all the way down towards turn 6. The slipstream was deployed. And how will that do for the lap time? How will that do for the straight line speed charts? 346 kph. Alex Mills 341. So that did gain quite a bit, because earlier on in qualifying it was actually Alex who had the better top speed. Harris is still in play, but the last sector is where he fell away before, really trying to hook the car into turn 12 and trying to be on the ragged edge through 13, and now it's flat out through 15, trying to throw the car into turn 16 and hope it sticks. And he does go quickest by 64 milliseconds. So Harris has inserted himself to the top of the times with 6.5 minutes to go. Fozzy in the Red Bull also going well. Fryer in qualifying so far, and well, going well in the first sector of his first Q3 run with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And well, his first sector 17.1 looks very good. And here we go, Red Bull also doing the same thing, deploying the slipstream, and Fozzy they're doing it down towards turn 9 though, compared to down towards turn 6 that Ferrari did, and Fozzy is up on Rio Harris's provisional quickest time. And Fozzy trying to keep it within track limits, but he just can't quite do it. And well, like he did in Kota in the Ferrari, which was invalidating in qualifying, Fozzy has invalidated again, but this time it's not the final Q3 run. He's still got more time to try and improve. And Ryan is going to be out there all by himself. I think that fastest sector thing might have popped up because Fozzy's disappeared because of the invalidation. So it updated. It went back to Mills being quickest, maybe. I mean, that seems to be what's happened, but Fozzy still holds the fastest first sector, so interesting. And Ryan, no, it has reinstated Mills's sectors. It has. So Fozzy was a 10th up, but it won't count. So Ryan, to the end of Sector 2, is half a second down on Rio Harris. This is going to be nip and tuck with Danny's Vart, you'd think. Lots of the tyres have decided to disappear on the left-hand side, but that's because the game has lost telemetry of them, and they would otherwise be showing as U, so they just don't show at all, but they will appear by the end of the last lap. The same thing always happens. I've been testing. Ryan, that was a lot of curve into the last corner, runs wide. Still going to get a lap time on the board. Goes into 5th. It was Saley, I think. No, it was Matty now, but he was Saley back then as well. He had a lap in Q1 last season in Abu Dhabi, where he was wide at the last corner, but it didn't invalidate him. He didn't back off though, like Ryan did, to try and keep his foot in. And well, there we go, the tyres have come back. It's just weird. They're going to go back to being there. And well, we're just waiting for the last runs now. We can see that the kind of second cars of the two championship contending teams. Well, contending now in the drivers. Constructors has already been settled in Ferrari's favour, but they've both gone out early to try and still get their lap in, but also have a slipstream from their teammate, even if it's earlier in the session, and then they'll give slipstreams to their teammates when it counts at the end of the session. So, Danny Zwart to embark on his final qualifying run in RFC Season 6. Danny Zwart, who has picked up that one victory, of course, in Azerbaijan, picked up pole position as well in that same race, and he's picked up another podium as well in Canada. I think got P2 there. And Danny now will pick up that slipstream, and let's see what the speed reaches. 330, 332, 335, 37, 337, I think, for Danny Zwart. Evans has set a purple first sector. You see it's all getting a bit tight there, down the straight towards turn number 6, between the McLarens and also Fusion, who's right there. Danny Zwart, though, right in the mix with his teammates. Has he got anything saved up for the last sector? Down into turn 12. Carry the speed through 13 and 14, now flat to the floor for turn 15. Get it all the way to the left to open up the entry, and then all the way to the left on the exit. Try and use all the track that you can, and Zwart is a tenth of a second away. What about Bryn Evans? Evans, purple in the first, purple in the second sector. Could this be the lap of the week for Bryn Evans? He's 3 tenths improved on his previous best in the middle sector, and he's gone 6 tenths almost clear of Rio Harris. So what has Rio Harris got in response? What has Alex Mills got in response? We'll see Harris now getting that slipstream from his teammate down towards turn number 6 once more, and Danny moves out the way and then cuts across, and is this going to be allowed? They're going to do a double slipstream. I don't know if that is what Red Bull did before. Actually, I didn't all really pay attention, but you will get a double slipstream here. Rio Harris on both straights, but he is down on Bryn Evans' time by about 2.5 tenths. It doesn't look like Rio Harris is going to be there for pole, but can he try and get his way into the front row? Alex Mills has gone purple in the first sector, the man second in the championship, looking to chase down this man, Rio Harris. And Rio now in towards the last corner, and will be crossing the line, and he does improve by a few tenths, but he stays in second place. So what has Alex Mills got? Purple first, green middle. It's gonna be close, I think, between Mills and Evans. Let's see what Mills has got in the last sector, as there is a Ferrari here just off track as Mills attacks the last corner, a bit wide of the apex, and crosses the line. It's only second place. What about Fozzie? Has Fozzie got any lap time there at the end? Goes on to the front row. Goes on to the front row as Lol across the line goes into 6th. Ryan's there in 9th. Doesn't get a lap on the board at the end, I don't think. Dimes there goes into 9th. Tarantino isn't pushing. It's a first pole position for Bryn Evans in RFC. And well, what a lap that was from Bryn Evans. The middle sector, I think he just absolutely aced the middle sector. Let's almost 2 tenths quicker than Fozzie there in the middle part of the lap alone. Well, it is a McLaren on pole, but it might not have been the one that you were expecting with Alex Mills' form. But Bryn Evans, who isn't particularly a fan of qualifying normally, managed to find the time on the final Q3 run with a slightly earlier run, but he managed to get the time on the board. And it's Bryn Evans and Fozzie on the front row. Well, the final race will be beginning in a few moments' time. We'll have the formation lap, of course. Then we'll get into it. Well, the two championship contenders lining up alongside each other on the second row of the grid. Well, here we go, formation lap getting underway in Yas Marina. And starting tyres, everyone on the mediums apart from Ryan there in the Red Bull, who has gone for the hard compound. He might struggle early on. And Evans controlling the pace quite slowly at the front, it seems, as well. Fozzie's going to make a dive up the inside on the formation lap here. I'm sure Evans isn't best pleased about that. So you're going to go for a re-overtake here on the formation lap itself. Here we go, as Evans goes wheel to wheel down the straight and is back ahead of Fozzie. And well, yep, brake marker boards being obliterated there. Yep, no brake marker boards will be there. Mills and Harris, though. Could there be fireworks right at the off? Hopefully no Senna and Prost tactics, or any other tactics that I'm not sure. Just, yeah, they will keep it clean, we hope. Well, quite a few months ago, towards the end of May, that was when Season 5 came to its conclusion. Now nearing the end of September, we're ready to go racing for round 14, the final round of Season 6, with Bryn Evans leading them at the front and pointing his car aggressively towards the inside there. And the grid is forming. We're ready. Finale in Abu Dhabi is just a few moments away. We have 3, 4, 5 red lights in Abu Dhabi, and the final race is underway. And Bryn Evans has got a good start, and Fozzie wheel to wheel with Alex Mills. They're ghosted through the first couple of corners, and Mills is through into second place immediately on the start, but Fozzie's trying to fight back, still ghosted down towards turn number 5. Harris following through in fourth as Fozzie tries to go around the outside. Alex Mills diving up the inside there on his teammate, and now they run down towards turn number 6. And the two McLarens are side by side. Fozzie's going to try and dive down the inside here as Alex Mills takes the lead of the race ahead of Bryn Evans, and then comes Fozzie and Rio Harris and Danny Zwart, who might be under a bit of pressure from Fusion in the Racing Bulls. But Mills with the perfect start, getting past his teammate, getting past Fozzie and leading on the opening lap. Magnificent was also disqualified after all of that. I'm not entirely sure. He wasn't even really seeming to be going anywhere at the start on the mini-map, but maybe he just didn't move and then he disqualified. He didn't start, so he's not in it. But, well, end of the first lap, and Mills leads over Evans, and Fozzie then follows through in third, and Harris and Zwart. What can they do to try and break this resistance ahead? Those few cars between Mills and Harris could be crucial, and what tactics are McLaren going to play in this fight? Well, because at the moment, I mean, they only need to be one position ahead of Harris, but if the more cars between them, the better. That would be fair to say. And here we go, a bit of a battle further back, actually. A few battles further back, as it's going to be the Red Bull of Ryan and Dimes going wheel to wheel through turn 6, and now running through 8. Dimes can't quite get by. Maybe Ghosts might be having a look, actually. And Dimes trying again round the outside of turn 9. Ryan breaks late enough. Can Dimes pull the switch back? Ghosts potentially sneaking up the inside there. Ghosts can't quite make it. Dropworks off the track there. Track limit warning for him, most likely. And this is Ryan. And Kure have made contact, and Ryan sent tumbling back there at turn number 12, 13, I want to say. And, well, that was a unfortunate moment there. As we'll try and have a quick little look at that. We saw them going wheel to wheel, and then, well, the Aston Martin of Kure was quite far on the curbs there, and that just seemed like an unfortunate goings on. And well, in the end, it hasn't cost Ryan all that much. Of course, now he's dropped out of DRS, so that is crucial. And here we go then. Evans going through on Alex Mills and taking back the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And the train is still intact, just about down towards Lol. And Svat overtaking Kure there. And then Mills now actually overtaking Evans once more, and taking back the lead of the race on lap 3. And there is Tarantino and Lol side by side through the bank turn 9. And Tarantino trying to get on the power there, looked a little bit unsteady, but he's ahead of the Mercedes. Lol dropping back a few places in this race. Tarantino gaining a place. Now we have a yellow flag, potentially coyed there. I think he might have disconnected, actually. There's wing damage for Ruben Parker, so something has gone on there. And also Ryan seems to be a bit all over the road ahead. But, yeah, a few more unfortunate incidents at the back. And Mills continues to lead the race, even though they did swap on the run down towards turn 6. They then swap back, because of course the DRS detection point is after the exit of turn 7. I mean, you can see it on the map right there, and that is crucial. Whoa, in the background we see wheel to wheel with Ryan and Lol going all over the road there. Defensive shape thrown, and again Lol is spun out and into the barriers at turn number 6. And the Mercedes, what is going on there? And Lol down into 13th place, and it's a Mercedes double DNF now. Well, technically a DSQ and a DNF, but Lol has left the session. He's retired. Coyd is back in, but that seemed bizarre. Let's just have another little look at that again. So there's a little bit of goings on previously on the straight, but then again, they made contact there, but I don't know. Is that like lag induced? It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that would happen, really. That kind of thing on the straight, but yeah. Well, Fusion just dropping back maybe a little bit from Svart. Can he keep DRS, or will the top 5 break clear? Looks like they might be breaking clear, you know. And I think they have. There we can see the gap, 1.2. Going up to 1.3 now, so it's definitely a gap. That is more than a second, and again, I think there's going to be a move there for Tarantino. But Fusion later on the brakes holds that place. Will this allow Ryan to get the traction down? I don't think he has got the traction down, though. Down towards turn 9. No, he hasn't. And Fozzie still having to follow the 2 McLarens. But, well, Mercedes, who were looking to see if they could overhaul Red Bull, are not overhauling Red Bull now. They were 24 points behind, and well, that is going to be 4th place for them in the Division 1 standings. So, Mills now with an 8.5 tenths lead. Fusion going for the pits here. So, the 1 stop, maybe, going into play, pitting a lot earlier than the actual normal pit window, but he's going to put on the hard compounded tyre. And now this is going to be close into turn 5 with Ryan in the Red Bull going round the outside, turns in, and I think just hits into the side of Andre Tarantino there. Tarantino won't be happy about that. He's now 8 tenths behind and potentially being swallowed up by Ghosts in the Aston Martin. But Ghosts, I don't think, is DRS, and there we go. Ryan gives back the place on the straight, and Ghosts still can't get through on either of them. And now we go down towards the last sector with them, but down towards turn 6 again. The 2 Racing Bulls swap over Fusion now ahead of Parker. They are on different strategies. Of course, Parker did pick up damage as well earlier on. That is Svat getting past Pablos. And I don't think no one's really going to make a send into the last sector. Let's just have another little look. That was that contact there, and it did eventually result in the place being handed back on later on in the straight. So as you can see him there just pulling over, and then eventually the place was given back. So Evans now potentially trying to play a bit of a game here. He's got 90% ERS, but he is kind of giving a bit of breathing space to Alex Mills and making sure that Fozzie can't quite get anywhere near. So if Evans needs to burn his battery to keep Fozzie behind, Evans won't overtake Mills, and he's still got DRS now. So they are protecting Alex Mills here, but Fozzie knows that getting past Bryn Evans could be crucial to his race, but he still can't quite manage it. But Evans there, a bit of a slide into turn 6, and now can Fozzie have a go? Will Evans get the power down? Okay, I think he has, and Fozzie can't quite close in. Fozzie does seem to have good straight line speed though, and Evans goes defensive into turn 9, and can Fozzie soar around the outside there like we saw with Lewis Hamilton, George Russell in 2024, but there's no difference of compound this time. Compounds are the same age, and Fozzie can't quite have the grip to go around the outside. He gets very close to Evans though in the last sector, but can't quite get up to Evans. Evans using none ERS, you can see the light flashing, and he's completely harvesting it. Harris is going for the pit stop for Ferrari. So Harris enacting the undercut on the cars ahead, and where will this put him out in the race? We'll have to see. Just before the pit window is really properly open, but everyone, well, quite a few cars now coming in. Dropbox, Edwards, Pablos, all diving into the pits. Well, Now, how do McLaren respond to this? You think they'll have to cover off Harris. They don't want Harris getting any closer than he was before the pit stops happened. And Fozzie might just have to wait till the pit stop phase, because he might be able to get an undercut on Evans if Mills has to stop first to cover Harris. So it could play out in that way, and Fozzie could get an undercut. And that could put him in a good position. And he's just trying to manage things at the moment. That is the tyre wear for Fozzie. And tyres looking pretty okay. Bryn Evans slightly better. Alex Mills slightly worse. Danny behind slightly worse than Alex Mills, who was slightly worse than those two. So Danny with the worst tyres out of the top four. Where is Harris at the moment? Wheel to wheel with Fusion in turn number 9. And he's going to have to fight for this now. Fusion has undercut Rio Harris. And this is going to be costing him time now in the last sector, because Fusion is not on old tyres really. He's only on a few lap old tyres. So Harris can't quite get by. He doesn't want to take a risk for the championship. He needs to be in this race. And he needs to be near the sharp end, but being in it at all is better than being out of it. So, and Fusion is still quicker, I think, than the race leaders. I want to say he is quicker. He's 1.2 seconds quicker on the last lap. So Harris, as much as he might be gaining more from the undercut if he was ahead of Fusion, he's still gaining time compared to the McLarens. And now will Harris make a move down into turn number 6? And Harris still behind the Racing Bulls. And how is this looking now? As Harris goes around the outside in turn 9 and gets ahead of Fusion. So that was crucial. And he's done it. And Harris now running in 8th place. I'm just going to click one button and then go back to the game. Dimes is in the pits for Haas, and Harris setting a purple sector 3. I wonder what the strategy of McLaren is now. Have a quick little check-in on that gap again. 19.3 between Mills and Harris, so Harris would be ahead. But are McLaren think for one-stop strategy again, maybe? Or I'm not entirely sure what they're thinking out there. They have the pace, and now it comes down to strategy and what they're going to do to try and win this championship. That is the key point. Let's just have a check-in. Obviously, as it stands, Mills will become the champion, but there's still a long way to go, and we don't know how the strategies are going to play out. And now one of the McLarens bailing in. Is Fozzie going to pull an undercut? Evans has a lot of ERS, so he's got a lot to use and gun it on a lap, but those three staying out. They're not at puncture range yet, so they're staying out there and trying to make a one-stop work. And Zwart having to try and get past Fusion here. Oh, almost going into the barrier. Getting squeezed out to the outside. And diving up the inside in the last corner. And maybe down into turn 1. He will make a dive for once and make it stick as Fusion then goes off and then hooks on to Danny Zwart. And Fusion seems to be lagging a bit there as well, but Danny is through. Bit of contact there though. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what to think about that. And surely now Evans is going to go through on Mills. I don't think Fozzie's close enough to make a move, so they've done this well. The strategy. And Fusion now Getting back past Vart, there's contact. Contact at turn 6. Oh, and Fusion goes across and hits into Danny's Vart there. And, well, it's kicked off here between Fusion and Danny. I'm not even sure who to blame, really. As Danny sends it up the inside, Fusion tries to come back, and Fusion then spins, and, well, he's lost a lot of time because of that. So, Fozzie's in the pits. Let's just have another little look. That was just kind of their battle, and not really a lot of, you know, that's when Danny let him back through, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot to try and clip there. Then Danny did send it up the inside, but I mean, there was previous as well on the previous lap in the last sector, and well, Fozzie are now out there. Zwart is kind of out of contention though with that, unless there's a safety car, and well, the gap between Mills and Harris is now 14.2 as Fusion retires in the pit lane, so that won't cause any problems. And Mills and Evans still out there out front. Fozzie now behind Zwart, and this is showing how much the undercut has worked in their favour, because despite all that drama, Fozzie is still behind the Ferrari, despite all the goings on of the last couple of laps. And potentially Zwart could still play a role if he stays out there, holds up the McLarens when they pit and try to overtake, and he could still play a role in Harris's championship, his championship attempt today. And well, Mills and Evans still working together for their championship attempt. And I think now Mills has gone for the pits, and Fozzie makes contact with Zwart in turn number 12. They were battling there quite hard, and there was contact as Fozzie really tried to get by, sent one to the inside, and, well, he managed to control it, and he's still alive in this Grand Prix. And that was very close to not being too good for his race. He's still behind Zwart though. Where is Mills in this whole picture? He's behind Fozzie, who's behind Zwart. So now Zwart comes into play in the championship fight. Harris is ahead of Mills, but Harris is on older tyres. So how will this play out? And Evans is still out there. He'll probably be boxing this lap. Fozzie's still trying to get by on Danny Zwart. Mills will be looking to follow him through if he can, but he's too far back at the moment. Those are the track limit warnings, as Coyd just picks up a 3-second time penalty. As down the inside goes Fozzie. Can Zwart pull the cutback? Not on this occasion. Is Mills lurking to try and make an overtake? A little bit too far back on this occasion. A lot of closing speed though there. There is a yellow in sector 1, I think. That was where Bryn Evans is. As Mills trying to get past Zwart, he just can't quite find the space. Zwart is trying to slow him up as much as he can, defends the inside of turn 16, and now going down towards turn number 1, Mills is still behind Zwart, and the gap between Zwart and Harris, and Mills and Harris is opening up as Zwart goes very wide there and is now ahead. Mills is now ahead of Zwart, but did Zwart do that on purpose to get DRS back down the next straight? Maybe. We'll just quickly see that again as he runs wide, but now he is going to get the DRS to potentially open it up and get back past. But he's too far back. He doesn't have ERS. Neither does Alex Mills, but I think Mills is now ahead and will be safely through and on his way. And, well, because they've now swapped, I have to swap their names about. And now the gap is 7.2 as Harris leads the race. Can Mills make it to the end? Harris certainly won't, but can Mills? Pablos and Cure having a little fight. Drop hooks and Ryan here again into turn 12, and drop hooks behind Ryan. Ryan looking to get by on Edwards. Ryan with a lot fresher tyres, started on the hard compound now, running the mediums of course, and gets past the Kick Sauber. There's a yellow flag, potentially Ruben Parker there, down at turn 7. And, well, as it stands, Harris, if it finishes this way, he would be the champion. But how is the pace going to look now? The DRS has split away. Evans quite far back. I don't know if he had a difficulty on the pit entry. There was a yellow flag deployed there, or if that was just a ghost yellow, but now he's behind this whole train and he doesn't want to be watching this as Ryan gets past Tarantino, and there's another yellow flag once again for Parker down there in the last sector. But can Tarantino fight back? He can't. Any moves further back? What about Bryn Evans? He needs to get through this train, but he's not at the moment. And it's not going to be too easy, but he has got the freshest tyres by far. And into the last sector now, a dive, turn 11, it pinches there, but then gets it into 12 on the brakes. And that's one down, then 2 more to go before he's on to the Red Bull of Ryan, and then on to Danny Zwart. And Edwards seems to be struggling a little bit ahead on the older hard compound tyres compared to the McLaren on new tyres. Big difference in pace. And Edwards seeing if he can hold on to DRS of Tarantino here, as Dines picks up the 3 seconds. And I think Edward might just have the DRS on Tarantino. Tarantino getting a bit out of shape. Evans tried to look up the inside into turn 5 and couldn't quite commit to it. And now Evans is going to get 2 overtakes here, I think, down into turn 6. And down the inside on Tarantino. Got past Edward on the straight. And now up into 6th. And 2.3 seconds to the next car, which is the Red Bull of Ryan. So Fozzie is quickly closing in, I think. 2 rear Harris side by side here, actually, between Edwards and Tarantino. And Edward trying to fight by. And Edwards is not able to get by on this occasion. Tarantino's struggling there on those 9-lap-old tyres. And Edwards, he's only got 1 lap fresher, but Tarantino does seem to be particularly struggling. It's just, tyres are a bit worse, but maybe once you start racking up the tyre temp, obviously it kind of spirals. But Harris out front, 40% right rear, so Harris is not going to make the end of the race, of course, but the McLarens should be able to make the end. And can they make a one-stop work at last? That didn't work in Sao Paulo. And it worked to the extent that they were only behind Fozzie in the end, but they were obviously at the front. Well, Alex Mills started on pole, and in the end it was a pretty dominant victory for Fozzie. And here is Ryan, caught up to Danny Zwart, but then loses the car, controls it. And just as we go on board, that was almost a huge moment for the Red Bull. Down into turn 9. And wow. Looking to close in on Danny Zwart. There's obviously Parker as well, the lap car. But he just about manages to hold on. And now this is Alex Mills, who's closed up to Fozzie now. And everything is condensing again. There's a yellow. Potentially Parker again, maybe just slowing down to let some cars by. But now this is Mills on the charge. Mills with better tyres. Fozzie sliding as well. And Mills with DRS down towards turn 6. He'll get by comfortably, and he can see his championship contender, his championship rival, right up the road. Just 1.6 seconds now separating first and second. That's closed down now to 1.3, 1.2. And Edward getting by on Tarantino at last, as we see Parker just letting cars by. He's already a lap down. And Will Mills is on the charge and is closing in to the race leader and championship leader. He's into DRS now. And how will Harris cope with the pressure? Is this what Harris wants, maybe, to try and fight him on track, see if Mills makes a mistake? Harris actually decided he doesn't want to fight and boxing for the second time. So before he lost time fighting, he's gone into the box. Hard tyres go on. These hard tyres, they last with 11 laps. So what is going on? I think that's just lag, actually. I think that was just lag. I thought he was getting the Lando Norris pit stop there for some reason with the game giving him a slow stop, but no, it wouldn't do that. You'd hope. I mean, obviously we did see in Imola when it was, I mean, different situation when, yeah, I think it was Hugo in the Sauber was slowing down with a puncture in the pit lane, and then Bryn Evans and Andre Tarantino got held up by about 30 seconds. This is Bryn Evans getting past Ryan. Bryn Evans running in third in the race, third in the championship. Fight still going on between Evans and Danny Zwart, but Evans clear of him by 12 points already. So it would need quite a turnaround, and Zwart doesn't seem to be, you know, he did lose a lot of time as well fighting before, and he has already made another pit stop in this race, so we'll see where it shakes out. And Mills leading the race by 9/10, just over a second now. And Fozzie with a little bit more ERS might just be able to grasp that DRS. Still on the McLaren. We can see they're going to deploy the overtake. And is it enough for Fozzie? I don't think it is. It's just a second, and he will not get DRS help. But maybe down the second straight, he will have DRS. I don't think he does, though. I think he's potentially running on fumes. We have a yellow. It is a Williams. I think down there. Is it Svat? Svat has lost his front wing. So no idea what's gone on there, but that was causing the yellow flag. It was the driver reserving for Williams, who, yeah, is down there in 9th place, still running in the points, but that probably won't last for long with the current situation, obviously, of his wing not being on the car. So I don't know if he made contact with someone there. I wasn't particularly paying attention to see someone else was dropping down. I mean, no one else has got damage, so not quite sure, but Harris with the fastest lap of the race, I think. Although what I'm seeing on another screen is that someone else has got the fastest lap. Not Harris, but maybe it's not updated yet. Or something. He was saying that Ryan had the fastest lap in the Red Bull. But I think he might have done. I think that was just a small glitch until they changed position again. Because see, Harris has lost the fastest lap when Ryan moved down some places. But pit stops occurring then. 2-stop strategies in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but McLaren and Alex Mills leading the race, leading the championship as it stands, critically. And as it stands, Alex Mills will be the Season 6 champion. Having not led the championship all season, He's now leading it with, well, not many laps to go. But it could all still change, and he needs to nurse these tyres home to the finish. And there could still yet be a safety car intervention. In these final laps. Svat picking up a time penalty for corner cutting. He must have just cut across turn 6 there. And Ghosts trying to make a charge on Dimes. Ghosts running a similar strategy to the McLarens. And Dimes, well, he's only been on his tyres. He's been on his tyres 12 laps now, so a couple laps longer than Ghosts. And the Haas as well, maybe not quite performing as well in terms of car performance as the Aston Martin is. And Ghosts, who picked up a podium in Kota. Dylan picking up a podium for the team as well at Imola. And there was a bit of contact between Bryn Evans and Dylan down into the Ravazzas that day, but today, I mean, Dylan's not even racing today, and Evans trying to get up there on the podium and got that place at the moment. Is Rio Harris going to make a charge? He's going to try his best to charge after Bryn Evans, but Bryn Evans has the best tyres of the people doing a one-stop, so it's going to be difficult for Rio Harris. As Danny Zwart now trying to go around the outside of Senior Ghosts and into turn 13, gets by on Ghosts, and Danny making an extra pit stop with better tyres getting by, and then down the inside goes Ryan on Ghosts, and Ghosts down to 8th, losing a couple places within a few corners. Zwart looking to get past Dimes as well now. And he should do that comfortably. DRS detection point, he should get DRS as well, even though he's already made the overtake. And Ryan as well, fighting his way by. Dimes though, looking to get in the slipstream maybe of the Ferrari, trying to see if he can match the Red Bull on straight line speed. Not on this occasion. And Mills with a 3.2 second lead over Fozzie. And well, of course, as it stands, Mills will be the champion. And Harris not quite making the charge that he might thought he could. Not really much ERS there. And actually, Ryan has now got past Zwart. Ryan with some freshest tyres, or with the freshest tyres of those in the top 10. Or freshest tyres other than Svat and Coyd. And, well, they worked well there, but he has got another time penalty. Well, he's got 6 seconds actually, so that is not ideal. 7 warnings. Harris 1 warning away. Zwart 1 warning away. And Alex Mills controlling this now. But let's just watch the gap and see how much Harris takes out of Mills, because considering the tyre difference, I mean, obviously the car's different as well, but it's not, unless there's a safety car, and we have Abu Dhabi 2021, Mills just needs to bring this home. And there is Tarantino, I think, getting past Dropbox down into turn 6. Oh, almost contact there between the Williams and Alpine. He's right at half a second back on Ryan there. No. Dropbox has a little bit of wing damage as well. That was maybe that little tap. I don't think it was that side. Actually. It might have been, actually. I don't know. Evans is actually making a bit of an impression on Fozzie here. And there could yet be a McLaren 1-2 looming. Because Evans has gained 9/10 on the last lap. And, well, he's gaining a lot again on this lap, I think. In the braking zones, he's making up a lot of time. And Fozzie doesn't seem to have much tyres left. And he needs to bring this home, so that's why he's just kind of backing off. Because 70%, that is looking a little bit treacherous. Unless he can somehow manage that in these last few laps. We have 4 laps to go when they next cross the line. And Evans looking to make it a 1-2 for McLaren. With Mills very close to the championship. We're almost, I think we might be at the point where there can't be safety cars deployed at the end of this lap, potentially. There's a certain point where there can't be safety cars. And because there's always 2 laps of racing in the F1 game when the safety car comes in, so yeah. I think we've got to that point where there can't be a safety car and Fozzie all over the road in turn 5. And Evans makes it a McLaren 1-2. Started on pole, of course. Goes a bit deep there, maybe, into turn number 6. And could this allow Fozzie to fight back? Does he want to fight back? He's burning the ERS. He's going to go around the outside of Bryn Evans. Doesn't have the grip, I don't think. And Evans is away and unleashed into second place. Fozzie steering all over the place there. But we're going to be starting lap 27 of 29 pretty soon. Danny Zwart, wheel to wheel here with Ryan. Danny trying to get the power down, back end wobbling, potentially looking to send one down the inside. Ryan kind of falls for the dummy a bit, runs a bit deep, potentially got a bit spooked there. And Danny there, you can just see him running wide, and he picks up a 3 seconds and again goes wide. And he didn't pick up a warning for that one. Drop hooks for 12 warnings. Now, 12 seconds of penalties as well to boot. And Danny, you can see his tyres not doing as well as Ryan's, I don't think. Looking at that onboard, is he going to send one to the inside of turn 5? No, not on this occasion. And here we go with Danny Zwart. A little bit of gentle weaving from Ryan, and Danny sending one up the inside. And again, Ryan goes a little bit deep. And now Danny should get the traction down. He's on a better line. And I don't think... Ryan's got a load of ERS. Ryan with a load of ERS to defend. So Danny, running on fumes, dives up the inside, and Danny looks to take the place. Ryan all the way around the outside, still trying to hold it through turn 10, now 11. Danny potentially looking to send one up the inside and almost makes contact again. But let's just go back a little bit. That was Evans getting by on Fozzie and moving up into second place, as Alex Mills is just 2 laps away from the RFC Season 6 Championship. The fight still goes on between Zwart and Ryan, and Bryn Evans is closing in on Alex Mills, as Mills is just keeping things calm, keeping it composed, keeping it pointing in the right direction. And the battle might still, for the final podium, might still go on towards the last lap, as Fozzie is really struggling with those tyres, and he's on 83 right rear, so Rio Harris could yet get on the podium this race as Edward gets by on Ghosts down towards turn 6, and Zwart again might be going for it on Ryan here up the inside, late on the brakes, and there's contact, and Zwart almost loses the car and almost hits into Ryan and almost loses it again, but keeps control. But now Mills out front has started the final lap of RFC Season 6, a season where he began in Racing Bulls. And, well, it didn't get off to the best of starts for Alex Mills, but eventually, after some pointless races in Canada, he arrived in the Red Bull. And in the Red Bull is where he found the top step of the podium for the first time, making this partnership with Bryn Evans. That's where it started, back in Canada. As that continued then to Hungary when they were back in the Racing Bulls, and this time teamwork enabled a double podium. That time it was Bryn Evans on the top step, and this time Bryn Evans is just behind, as the two McLarens are potentially going to swap around on the final lap. They're going around in formation as Evans swaps back. But this partnership between these two McLarens in the second half of the season, they moved to Mercedes at one point, but they eventually ended up at McLaren. And since getting into the McLaren, Alex Mills has been dominant in so many races. And he's going to round the final corner now as they're side by side, the two McLarens. It's Alex Mills winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and becoming the RFC Season 6 World Champion. Alex Mills wins the Season 6 Championship. It's the second season in a row McLaren have won the Drivers' Championship. They also won it back in Season 3. And as well as Season 5, which I was just talking about, Alex Mills winning the race by 0.071 as the two McLarens cross the line side by side. Harris does finish on the podium eventually after something went on the final lap, which I wasn't quite too sure of. That is what went on there. But there we go. Alex Mills, champion of the world in RFC. And McLaren might have not had the constructors, but they've at least got the drivers. They have the drivers in Division 2. They have the constructors in Division 2. They have the combined constructors. And now in Division 1, they at least have some sort of championship as well. And, well, it's really the main one, you'd say. It's the one that most people would look for, the Drivers' Championship. And there we can see the podium. He started third in that race, finished first, and, well, that is his fourth win for the McLaren team, his fifth win overall this season. That is how RFC Season 6 ends. Yeah, so Magnificent was disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. So that was just him not even starting the race, I think. That was the race director. There's not really any time to scroll down all of the kind of things, all of the drivers. But there we go. That is it. We'll do some interviews Oh, I'm in the interview room, and well, I'm gonna straight away. I'm gonna bring in both McLarens. Oh. Hello.
Oh, you just disconnected me. I was having a chat.
Champion of the world. Oh. Well, how does it feel to be the champion?
Yeah.
Bro's just nonchalant. Fair play, lad.
No, it's just a toy telling me he scored.
Oh, the sexy man's here.
Hi, Bryn.
Hey, sexy.
Eagle, can you?
Well done, Alex, mate. Well done.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, you kind of shit, but you had a stinker.
70-point deficit to 0, stinker.
Fair enough, mate.
We'll ignore me spinning into the pit lane.
I restored it.
Yeah, I did see there was a yellow flag when you pit.
I literally, as I went into the
something
pit lane, I
happened.
think from what it looks like, as I went into the pit lane, my tyre literally punctured. That's what it felt like.
By the way, Eagle, was
I
that a
had
Ferrari
that.
master plan,
Huh?
Was that a Ferrari master plan, yeah?
We kind of decided that we didn't want to sit in a one-stop and sit in a train because we know that the tyre wear for us wouldn't have been as good as McLaren. So we had to go for something else, but we just couldn't.
My tyre wear at the
Game
end
of
was
time.
literally only just over 60%.
Should have went medium.
Yeah, we were on like 40% by the end of that last stint, but Fozzie's were on fucking like 90%. So it's like
What?
you literally can't. Yeah, but that would have been ours. Like we would have been on that, so it wouldn't have. Yeah, it wouldn't have done us good, and we would have just ended up P3 still.
Does this mean I can retire?
Huh?
Does this mean I can retire?
Nah, you can't. You're not allowed.
No, you need to follow the RFC World Champion tradition. You need to start the next season, then say you're
You need to do
quitting.
one season,
Then you need to
get
come back
P5.
randomly, and then and then you just leave the rest of the season. That's it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You need to write a massive paragraph as well, saying, you know, like, oh yes, guys.
Oh, but Ferrari can't win everything.
We won a constructors. I'm pretty happy.
I
with
mean,
that,
McLaren can't win. McLaren won every title bar for the Div 1 constructors.
That just shows
That's
that it's the
'cause,
car, guys. It's
That's
the
'cause
car. Look at these.
drivers didn't,
Do we bring up the? Do you bring up a screenshot that I have where I think I won 3 races on the spin in a 5-lapper against these two. These two rookies.
Nah, that wasn't fair because I was clipping James and he got sent in Monaco. He got switched.
Yeah, we
back
have
in
James with us. Like,
He
come
got
on.
switched back in Monaco.
Viral TikTok.
Yeah, the viral TikTok that apparently blew.
But we had a bit of fun in the final sector, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Well,
Nick tag me out.
Kind of hoped you took each other out.
We're not that stupid.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Nah,
you've done it
Brent.
before. Imagine like trying to side-by-side action with someone and then crashing into a wall. Could it be me at Senna?
I was going to say, you can't say a lot, mate.
Yeah.
Anytime you go side by side with someone, oh fuck, you
Remember the fist bump and then I ended up in a wall.
Yeah.
Really? Oh well.
You dumb twat. And we trust this guy in a go-kart.
Yeah, no.
He did like
Any
Mazepin.
questions for Fozzie? Fozzie, how was your tyres, fella?
yeah, one to forget.
What actually happened on the last lap? Was it just...
Well,
You were
I
just
finished with
slow.
92% on the rears, so
You know.
it was either fight Harris and blow up, or try and fight Harris a little bit and then give up. And I gave up. Realistically, if my tyre wear weren't that bad, I reckon I could have had a bit of a scrap with the lads, but it just weren't happening.
Yeah, well, it's not been bad results you've been getting. You were P2,
No.
P1, and now P4.
Yeah,
So
could be
Well,
worse, I guess.
for 3 races, it's not too bad, and certainly... Well, I mean, you're in Red Bull now, but obviously I think your contract was only till the end of the season, but
It
we'll
was.
see
Yeah.
what happens for next season, because you've certainly done some impressive
Yeah,
performances.
Obviously, see what my options are.
Alright.
Obviously, the tyre wear on this car is very frustrating and limiting. But yeah, it's just a bit shit.
Did you know that? Words, nice one, mate. Did you know that McLaren have won the last 3 drivers' titles? Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Get better, little bro.
Wonder why.
Chubby gimp.
What last 3 if you
Should-
include
should get
Div
back
2 of
Yeah, I was including Div 2.
yeah.
And there's been 3 different constructors winners. With Red Bull, then McLaren in Div 2, and then Ferrari in Div 1. Ray, up yours, McLaren, dickheads. Ray.
70 point deficit.
Doesn't
Didn't
affect
make it
me.
out after two. Still pretty good.
Who weren't here after season?
Exactly, so we missed that one out. So it's people left.
Badness
Have a
guy.
look at this clip. Or Danny's Raw is in trouble. Oh, right, probably. Never mind, he's just been absolutely good. Right, what is happening here?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're right, Miles.
Oh, I'm definitely meant to be here.
Yeah, mate, how was your race? Although I don't think you were even racing.
Yeah, it was good. It was
He
good.
He was sitting in ours.
Yeah, no, it was good though. P21.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
right.
How were the tyres like? How was the pit stop?
I kind of got a puncture first lap, and then every lap. So
I'd just like
you
to
know.
dedicate this award to Wayne Lineker, main fly out. He's broke his leg in that train due to smoothing
In a box.
Thunder cunt.
The win should go out to Charlie Kirk, lad. Come on.
Charlie Kirk's our centre back, mate. He's a unit. He's a unit. Him and Purple Aki in the back line. Nothing can get past him.
Oh,
Heaven FC is going brazy right now.
That's crazy.
He's a shaky fullback.
This is
I might
the
go
most
Benjamin
normal-
Mendy.
This is the most normal Div 1 interviews.
Right, has
ever.
anyone got
Yeah.
anything like interesting to say about the race before I end the stream?
It was good.
I do.
Yeah.
Karma points, yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
do a wet Monaco next season?
Shut up.
Can we do Monaco reverse, please?
Yeah,
Oh, go
please.
on, man. Go on,
Yeah.
then. You know what? We'll do it. We'll do it
Yeah.
as well. We'll mix in a no
Oh,
rules
yeah.
race. Release the calendar now, guys. I'm releasing it tomorrow now. I'll tell you right now that there is
Can I
a
bring my JCB?
reverse
to the
Monaco no rules race in the dark, in the wet.
Let's go, bro.
Monaco every
Yeah.
race.
It's just, yeah, we're going to make a new division. It's just called Monaco. Liam's active. Oh, he's just got inactive as soon as I said that.
Should make an ACC modded thing.
Actually, we've got a another league coming, which is like our what was it called, Mon?
It's not ours, is it?
No, it
It's
is.
the-
It was
It's the
like- what was it-
RGTC, whatever it's called. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's coming to a store in stores near you, and it's like a GT3 league. It's where you
Can
go
we
when
do
you
yoga?
retire. So I don't know what game it's on. So whatever game it's on, you got to buy a new game.
I think it's
because
ACC.
you just one. All right, it's on ACC, right? Yeah, you've got to play that now. You're not allowed to do any F1 anymore.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
only allowed to do
No,
ACC.
Ah.
that-
I swear I probably have the lowest hours here anyway.
Shut up, you gimp.
Kiss me.
There you go, mate. Your PC's got potatoes and CPU. Shut up.
It's I spent 300 quid on it. It's fine now.
It worked fine
Put
yesterday.
on a potato. Fuck
It's
it.
because of the replays. The replays killed it.
Anyway, the replays weren't killing it before, but the replays were killing it yesterday in the
I don't know what
season
the
office.
We've never used the replays, remember?
No, you need to like fine tune it for like your exact PC, like what it can handle.
Are you just gonna keep
Of
the
course.
stream on, or?
Yeah.
What's
Go on,
the problem, Alex?
Keep it going. Come on.
Ended it like 5 minutes ago.
Has anyone got anything interesting to say about the race?
About the race.
I think the McLaren should have a Soggy United on its soy pods or sponsor.
What about soggy
Alex,
biscuit, mate? Come on.
I've got some questions. I've got a question. Alex, do you think you're going to stay at McLaren next season?
Or I think I might have to consider my options there, man.
Can I take your seat, please?
Really, that's the same to Slava Vazilenko. You said like, are you staying with McLaren? Well, it's the quickest car. You're not gonna.
I'm not being funny.
Yeah, I won my championship. I'll do what I want.
Mate, wherever Bryn goes, he's sticking it in him, so he'll be wherever Bryn is, put it that way.
I ain't sticking it in him.
No, other way around.
Harris, if you want some, just ask for it and I'll do two.
No, I'm alright.
Can we have a scrap, please?
I don't want curry on it, so no thanks.
Rashid will give you a special.
Right, the stream's
Bamboo
going
the special.
now. Awards ceremony coming soon.
Yeah!
Brilliant.